up at all? No. Great.
Yeah, but maybe it will, you know. Another few seconds, you never know.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a little while for them to heat up, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll take another stop and see if we can fix that as well. Not right now. We'll take another stop up the road a little bit. Now, have you all noticed the difference? Can anyone tell me why? Because it's colder. That's a good answer. Any other guesses?
Less soil?
Less soil. That's a good guess. You're both right. It gets about 60 below in this area during the winter, so it's extremely cold. Since it does get so cold, there's a thick layer of permafrost. And so, like you said, if they don't get enough soil, their roots don't go deep enough to really grow to their full potential. Most of these trees are over 100 years old. They're just very small, and they're covered under snow for most of the winter, as you can probably guess. Now, you will notice that they are missing limbs. Usually it's on one side. That's due to the high winds that come through here late October. As it snows, the ice crystals act as razors. Can y'all hear me? Better? Okay. I'm a little short here. But the ice crystals act as razors and cut off the branches and limbs. So that's why they're missing some on the sides.
Have some low wind chill numbers, huh?
Oh yeah, it gets extremely cold up here. Extremely cold. That's why you don't see anyone living up here, is because of the low temperatures. Customs, Canadian and U.S. Customs, thought about putting their offices up here, and it was just too cold. So they're on 20 miles each side of the border.
Huh.
People still come up here in the winter?
People, yeah, those truckers that we saw, that big truck,
yes,
he drives up here all winter long.
What does he carry?
They carry a lot of different things. Oil, gasoline. There are quite a few ore trucks that come down off the mountain. We'll see a few ore mining stations as we go up along. So Skagway actually has a pretty big port where they ship things to different cities, things like that. And so that's why they have to keep it open year round. This road never closes. It's a fairly new road. It was put in about, I think it was 1998. And so it really opened a lot up for Skagway as far as jobs, things like that. Yes. It's great.
So where does the road go to?
This road goes to Whitehorse.
Oh, okay.
So it's about a 2.5 hour drive, and it meets up with the Elkin Highway. And we'll be able to take some pictures there as well. It's a pretty fun place to stop. So we're getting a little socked in by fog up here, but they don't call it the White Pass for nothing. So
very nice.
I have people like get so mad about it, about the fog, and it's the White Pass.
White Pass, I didn't think about that.
It's like this on most days. So when we reach the summit, folks, we'll be at about 3,300 feet. That's how far you've climbed today from the ocean. We get some pretty funny questions about elevation, things like that. The other day, some guy got on my coach. We were down at the dock where I picked you up, and he said, "Hey, what elevation are we at right now?" And I just looked at him and said, "Why don't you go look off the side of that pier right there? I'll answer it for you." I had one guy ask me what altitude we were at, which doesn't work either, so. We get some pretty funny questions in this business, that's for sure.
This is the White Pass. You can see a couple of reasons why.
So elevation 3,292 feet. It's the highest we'll be at today on our tour.
Have you ever taken that bike ride down the... That looks kind of pleasant, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You don't have to pedal.
The bike ride down, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a guy who's training for a bike race who bikes up this pass every day.
Wow.
Yep. He said it takes him about an hour and a half, which is about how long it took us.
Oh, yeah.
So he's cruising up here.
So,
Now folks, we're just about to cross into Canada. There will be a sign that says US-Canadian border. You will not go into Canada at that sign. When we hit a little bump in the road, that's when you'll be in Canada. Okay, so here comes the sign. And here's the bump right now. We're in Canada.
is the road better or worse?
We're not going to comment on that.
There you go. You're a diplomat.
Yes. Now folks, if we could see off to the other side of the hill over there, there is a waterfall. Just a tiny little waterfall, but at the bottom there's a fork, and some water goes towards Canada, and then the other water goes. It was formed by glacial melting. So thousands of years ago, as the glacier melted along this area, it carved out these rocks, and that's why they're in the shapes that they are, kind of rounded off. Also, if you notice, some of the lakes or the ponds that are melting, they have a bluish tint in the ice. That's from the glacial silt that was left behind thousands of years ago. It's quite beautiful. If you see some of that, let us know. I think there's some right over on the left-hand side. We will come back through this area on the train later, so you'll be able to see this later on in the day. It should clear up a little bit. It's really beautiful out here. Now if you're into snowmobiling, hiking, skiing, snowshoeing, anything like that, this would be the place to come during the winter. It is pretty cold, but there's a lot of snow, a lot of great snow. When I first came up here, they were filming a snowmobile movie, and they were building jumps that went over the road. So they would wait for a car to come along and jump over the car. It was really, really neat to see.
Yeah, it's just neat. It's something you don't see, isn't it? Going on and on like this.
Yeah, it does. This valley goes on and on. The mountains that you can see, they're covered in snow not snow, fog right now. But they go straight up, so this is just covered in like a wall of pure white mountains. They're beautiful. So hopefully on your train rides later today, you'll be able to see that. I'm sure you will. Now folks, I do have the air on. I'm trying to make it so your windows are not foggy. In return, I am making you a bit chilly, so I'll just try and switch off. We'll have put up on the mounts. That's a First Nation tradition that a lot of the locals like to carry out. People from Skagway or travelers along the way will just pull off in their car and build these piles of stone.